Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check another combo in the form of here, Suzune and Kirara, Holy Knight Kirara. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So, why are these two important? Well, they make an excellent combo because both of them are going to activate on the same condition and they both give a very large amount of damage. Suzune says, increase damage dealt to enemies with debuffs by 40%. The Kirara is going to do the same but even better, but the thing is that Suzune was an F2P supporter and Kirara was a seasonal supporter. Seasonal supporters you can get 3 copies F2P, so that would be 30%. And if you buy the pack, you get 4 copies, so that will be 35%. To get the 40%, you need to either get lucky with tickets, with exchange facility, or use a nano machine, which is unfortunate. But even so, it's very strong. It also has an extra effect that compensates for the lack of copies. So, not only are these two supporters excellent, they also have very good actives. Let's check. So, for Sune, conjures plants that snares all enemies for 10 seconds and immediately restore 30% of your lost HP. This is pretty good, but I gotta admit, you don't want to rely on this as your only way to recover HP if you're fighting a challenging stage. And you can use it to get control on the enemy and actually activate that debuff. But for most purposes and instances, you want to be able to debuff the enemy by yourself. That's super important. Now, let's go with Kirara. Kirara, as it said, she also gives, when she's maxed out, she gives 40% damage increase to debuffed enemies. But she has an extra effect. It says restore 8% of lost HP every 7 seconds until HP is below 15%. So that effect is really good. It gives you sustain and it is amazing. And what about the active? Well, the active has an extra passive that says deal 200% damage to enemies nearby and freezes them for 2 seconds when killing the enemies. This is really good if there are mobs. But if there aren't any mobs around, then this passive is not going to be used in any time. So for even if the passive is not like usable in some stages, the main effect is so good that you do want to use this. And the active says, a snowflake covers the ground, deals 800% damage to enemies and increase the character's speed by 10% for 10 seconds when in the area. Unfortunately, you have to be inside the area to take advantage of the speed increase, and the speed increase is only 10%. The duration is long, so I appreciate that. Unfortunately, the cooldown is also very long, so yeah. It really doesn't matter. You can use it in the main, the active is not that bad, it's just not busted. But the main effect is really good. So, usually, you would want to use Suzune on the main as a means to get control over the enemy, get HP recovery, and activate the condition of debuffing the enemy. But that's not the only thing you can do. You can also use other supporters in the main. These two, unlike the previous combination that we checked of Keito Reina, this is going to work for mixed builds too. You can use it with green or with blue on the main slot or on the sub slot. It is completely fine. And you can also use it on pure. That's perfectly fine. So let's check what other supporters we can use. So starting with red, one important supporter that you should take into consideration is Fuma Hibiki. Fuma Hibiki increases damage dealt with normal attacks to enemies with debuffs by 40%. This is really good if your all red builds are able to debuff. And they also have really strong basic attacks. A very good example of this is Astaroth. Astaroth is able to debuff the enemy, and it's also going to be dealing huge amount of damage with the basic attack. So it is really great to use Hibiki with her. You can also use generics like Nino Waver and Granny. The same can be said about Lina or Shirayuki, Barretta, yes, all the same. But other supporters that synergize perfectly with this. Character release Shizuru. Character release Shizuru, this limited supporter, is going to be very useful because it increases damage to debuffed enemies. I think it's by 25% maybe? Yeah, because I don't think it's 15 at base. So yeah, let me check. I can check it in collection. If I go red and you are, and we see here she is. So at base she's going to give you 13. So it's 26% increase to the damage against debuffed enemies, which is good. I know it's not as good as maybe Granny or Nino or any of the others, but there is one more thing to take into consideration. It also increases critical rate for suppressed type characters, which is appreciated. The active is not that impressive. I mean, you wraps nearby enemies in rose vines every 15 seconds and decreases their speed by 40% for 5 seconds. That's appreciated because it's an auto way to proc the effect. But usually you still want to debuff the enemy in some way, shape, or form with your character's skills. Another one that you can use, these you can use especially in the main. Minasaki is good, but you also want to be able to poison the enemy. There's I don't remember if there's anyone who poisons on red. I think that Sue poisons on green, so you will have to check. But it is a good option, especially good if you're on VR. VR really enhances how you can use this combo. Another one that you can use, definitely Indomitable Fuba Tokiko. That's great because similar to Shizuru, she's going to be debuffing the enemy constantly. It says that open Evil Eye to decrease the speed of all enemies for 3 seconds. That's a shame, but it's every 10 seconds. So 7-second cooldown. You're able to constantly debuff the enemy. That's good. Let's see. And yeah, in case you don't have any of these two, let's say that you arrive late into the game and you have Onisaki Kirara, but you don't have Suzune. Or you have Suzune, but you skip the Christmas event where they give Onisaki Kirara. So you can replace any of those with Gal Lilim. Gal Lilim works the same, but instead of giving only damage, she gives 22% damage and 22% damage reduction. Obviously against debuffed enemies, so she is pretty good as a replacement, and she also works well with the supporters. You can use other generics like Momochi, like Fuyutsuki. If your character has multi-hits, you can abuse Asuka. That's like a no-brainer always. You can also use Yukina. If your strategy focuses on burn, you can use Astaroth, character release, limited Astaroth. And of course there's Stella as usual. There's many options. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Prophet Eleanor is another great option, similar to character release Shizuru, similar to which was the other one? Indomitable Fuma Tokiko. She is going to constantly debuff the enemy if you have it on the main. And you're gonna get the damage increase if you have her on the main. The main appeal is going to be the crit increase, but the fact that both the active and the passive on the active inflict debuffs are gonna be very useful for this combo. Let's say that you don't want to use full rate, that you want to go combos, that you want to go mix. There's many other options. Similarly, you can go with generics like, I don't know, Kirara for demons, Uraru for machines, Lilin for protects, and so on, Felicia for assists. But going specifically to a build that focuses on debuffs, I suggest that you use Witchu. Witchu is a great option because if you're a melee attacker, you're going to increase the duration of the debuffs, and you're gonna have you can prolong the debuff, and then the downtime is gonna be less. And maybe you can immediately after the debuff goes away, you can activate your skill again, and you still have the damage increase. I mean, any skill that increases, that debuffs the enemy, so that you keep up the damage. That's one thing that you can use. Also, of course, you can use Kaito or use Oriham, yeah. But as usual, they are random. I do not recommend that you go with those in this case. You want to guarantee your debuffs as much as possible. There's the option of going with Micah. If you're focusing on skill damage, if you go with 3 skills rather than the basic enhancer, then go with Micah. She's really good. She's just like Suzune and Onisaki Kirara, but in Bloom, and she only works for skill, but and also her damage is lower. That's unfortunate, but sometimes you want to proc that blue main, so that's a thing to take into consideration. And what about green? Well, on the green department we have some really good options. Let me check. If I'm not mistaken, where is it? You can use Ichika for the poison strategy, especially on VR or stages with multiple enemies, because she's going to poison the enemy, so that works. And poison, something important about poison is that it has a really long duration. Look, 12 seconds, 12.5 seconds. So yeah, that's great, because you're going to have your damage increase for a long time. Let's see. There's also Eleanor is an option, yes, but similar to other supports, she's chance based. She has a 14% chance to inflict wect whenever you use a skill, so it's not consistent enough in my opinion. I do not recommend that you use this. And the last one, the really important one, is going to be Heaviko. You can put Heaviko on the sub slot or the main. It doesn't matter, because the important part that is going to synergize with Suzune and Kirara is this. Has a 50% chance to inflict poison of 100% damage for 12.5 seconds when attacking an enemy with a debuff. You just use the active ones, and then you're going to attack the enemy, and they are going to receive poison. I mean, you're going to attack the enemy enough that one of those 50% chances is going to inflict poison. And after that, the enemy is going to have perma poison. That's going to be great. I really suggest that you use this combo. Suzune, Kirara, and Heaviko. Yeah, Heaviko. If your weapon is able to inflict debuffs, that's even better. For this one, we're going to go here. Weapons like the Momochi set. Where are the Momochi weapons? I want a Momochi weapon. Unbelievable. They are not here. Well, here they are. Using the Momochi weapons is actually a great idea, because if you crit, you're going to be inflicting a debuff onto the enemy. Unfortunately, you cannot use this strategy on VR. You can use it on tower, event, or any other kind of stages, but not on VR. Other weapons that inflict debuffs are really good options. Though there aren't that many that inflict a variety of debuffs. One of the best weapons that you can use this with is probably going to be Guide of the Starry Sea, because this also ensnares the enemy, and putting the enemies setting the enemies into one place is really strong. So yeah, whatever you can do that debuff the enemies with weapons or supporters and even the skills is gonna be super strong. I didn't prepare the builds because you can use this with whichever character you want. The biggest advantage is that it increases damage, and that's it. Only damage. It's not. You know what? Since I'm using Astaroth, I'm going here. It's not range damage. It's not melee damage. It's just damage. So it works for any kind of character, both range attackers and normal attackers, and melee attackers. So here I'm going to go with I want the HP recovery, so I'm going to go with Suzune. I do not recommend that you do this for the most part. I want to use Hibiki, but she's not enchanted. Well, imagine I use Hibiki. I'm going to be using something different. So, Kirara. And lastly, I'm going to use Fuyutsuki because this stage is more difficult, so I need a bigger damage increase than what Hibiki can provide. But Hibiki would work really, really well. Well, let's start. So, yeah, with that skin. So you can use this for melee attackers, range attackers. You can use it. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. Good thing that this doesn't consume resources. The skills. The weapon is going to be Nifrinka because Nifrinka increases damage to enemies with terror, and I'm going to be using a lot of terror. So, reduce damage taken. Nice, but I want this one. I want this one. Fire Blast instead of Fire Wave. And Lava Serpent. Reduce the target's defense. No, that's a counter. That's horrible. Phoenix. Yeah, I can go with Phoenix. Just so that I have more debuffs. Oh, if I'm going with Phoenix, I have to use Fire Wave. Phoenix forces you to actually get close to the enemy, so Fire Wave is better. If you don't use Phoenix, you can go with Fire Blast and Lava Serpent in case the enemies get near. So yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. So let's check super quickly how well this works. I mean, I know it is busted. I know it is great. You don't want to use the active until... Oh, I almost forgot. You want to debuff the enemy. So I'm going to use this skill that inflicts terror. Yes, you really, really, really want the enemy to be debuffed. As you saw, I wasn't dealing that much damage until I use Hellfire. And I'm going to use the... Yeah, it worked. For a minute I thought it didn't. Like that. I hate those invincibility frames. Okay, there. So you see how great this is. Oof! Ah, no! There. Easy peasy. More than the combo with Keito and Reina. Okay, like that. Oh, come on. Wow. I beat the bar with one skill. Nice. Okay, I use this. And voila. Yeah, the damage is absurd. Don't rely only on the active. If you're fighting on a stage like VR with multiple characters at the same time, you can go with a character that doesn't inflict debuffs. That's fine. But generally, you want your character to be able to inflict debuffs. This, I'm not going to use it here. I mean, I can do something different, like let's say machines. This is machines. Yeah, this is machines. So I'm gonna use Eleanor on machine because I don't want the triple one. Against a ranged attacker, it would be very kind of difficult. It would be kind of difficult. Yeah, red. What? The hat? Oh, Gremory! Why is the hat white? Whatever. Let's see. I'm going to equip this. And... yeah, I think I'm gonna use Prophet Eleanor here. So let's go with Kirara. And... yeah, I will use Prophet Eleanor. It would be also very, very good to use Suzune because she has even more ways to deal with the enemy. But I'll do this. Wet. These two skills are to inflict wet, and this one is to inflict a snare. So that's why we're using what we're using. Let's see. Well, let's try it. The more debuffs you are able to inflict, the better. Always try to go with characters that can inflict a plethora of debuffs. Just look at that damage. Okay, come on. Yes. Nice. Okay. Really good. Really nice. Yeah, and Kirara is constantly healing me. So that's why I selected this. Eleanor as a mid-range attacker is very strong against melee enemies, but against range enemies like Edwin, she's gonna have a rough time. Come on, there. Take it. Oh no. You're... the knockback, yeah. Well, there we go. I just need to position. Apply the rain. I'm trying to avoid the ultimate, but in case I need to interrupt an action, I will use it. Okay, nice. There. Okay. Let's go with Nagi since Nagi is red. Nagi doesn't want to fight the machines, definitely. Oof. Okay, I'll equip it this way. I need to change this. So this goes here and this goes here. And critical, yeah. No, where? Why? This goes here. And this goes here. So I equip whatever critical. Question mark. There we go. And 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. Obviously, we want a Storm Dance because we want HP recovery. The more HP recovery we have, the better. Wait a moment. Does Momochi actually inflict... well... I am checking. I think she doesn't inflict debuffs. So what can I do? Since she doesn't naturally inflict debuffs, I'm gonna do it this way. I can do it, but I will need to do it this way, with the Momochi weapon. So whatever Magatamas, and whatever max out Magatamas, and then these Magatamas, just for the stats. So we're gonna rely on the weapon to inflict the debuff so that I can actually take advantage of the damage increase. I'm gonna use Sword Dance, I'm gonna use Stormbringer, and I'm gonna use... I'm thinking whether I want to use that or something else. Let's change it to Demon. No, I'll leave it this way and I can do Edwin. You can also go for your favorite supporter that synergizes with the character that you're using, like this one. And just put the other ones on the main. As long as you're able to debuff, you will be fine. So... that's an option. Let's see. Suzune. Yeah, like that. And... I'm gonna go here. I think I can. Did I set everything correctly? Yeah. Yeah, because I have range attacks to deal with Edwin, so... and I have HP recovery. So it shouldn't be a problem. So I just wait for the enemies and shred them. Like that. Super easy. Yeah, not always are you going to be able to use all the combos that you want. For example, the weapon here I cannot use because that way I wouldn't be able to inflict debuffs onto the enemy. And I really need those debuffs. There. Nice. Okay, so it is very easy now, thanks to the big amount of damage that I'm dealing. Oh, come on, just evade. Yeah, where is he? Yeah, I like that the basic attacks can auto target if you just stop moving the stick. Nice. I am like, I want to use the ulti, but I won't use the ulti. We want to check this. And besides, if you're going to use the ulti, oh my god, use it after applying a debuff. Woof. Like that, yeah. Oh no, I'm going to die. Oh! They were too far away. I didn't notice. I should have seen them. Well, in any case, you see the insane amount of damage. And if you want to be more consistent, You can easily just replace this with Gal and put Suzune on the main. Gal is an excellent combo that allows you to have more survivability. Let's see. I'm thinking who debuffs bot a lot. Like, yeah, actually, Lina. Lina is very good at debuffing the enemy. We are just going to put this because it gives you defense reduction, HP recovery, of course. I would like to use the basic enhancer, but I will use, let me check, this one. Yeah, because it gives us a bigger AoE with a debuff. Yeah, I really would prefer to have the basic enhancer. No, I can easily debuff with this, with all of my skills, so I don't need to use Heaviko. So I'll be using Kirara, and I'll also be using Suzune. And on the main, let me check my list. Like, where did I put it? There's a list of supporters that I made, and I want to check. Oh yeah. What is her color? She's protect. So as a protect, I could use Reina. No, not Reina. Where is she? Lilim. I could use Lilim, and it's actually pretty good because of the active. I will use Lilim to use more. Oh, wait a moment. Skill damage. No, with her, I don't want to give up the skill damage increase. I already debuff. My basics are not that great, so I don't need this. This could be an option. I am not inflicting poison. This doesn't work on her. This is definitely a good idea, but I'm gonna avoid that. Let's go with whom? Well, I will just go with Gal Lilim. One of her biggest weaknesses is actually the HP. So by giving her a little bit more survivability, that's gonna be a little bit more damage reduction. She's gonna be more viable than she already is. Let's see. There we go. Nice. So we want to debuff. And there we go. That was insanely fast. Yeah, the amount of damage she deals is absurd. But as long as you're able to actually debuff the enemy. Oh, why? I always do the skills when they use invincibility. God. Okay, take this. And now... How did that work? Why was the skill backwards? Well, I'm going to do this and this, and where is... There we go. Nice. Just look at the damage. I'm definitely using the ultimate at the start of the third wave. No. Okay. Kirara is really, really good. That passive healing is amazing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to use Suzune and then the ultimate. So I increase my damage. Nice. Oh, he can change the trajectory. God. Why you evil? Yeah, the damage reduction. Damage reduction. Yeah, that's the word. The damage reduction is really useful. There. Come on, Ingrid. Nice. And the ability to have an extra heal is also very good. No matter, well, if you have 3 heals, then you really don't need to use Sune on the main. But if you have 2 heals, that's also fine. But if you have only 1 heal, having Suzune on the main is really good. In case of an emergency situation where you miss the healing skill. So yeah. Who else? Who else? I mean, every character can use this for the most part. Oof. Micah is one of the best to use this. Definitely. It's just so easy for her. So let's check. I'm gonna be putting her. In the case of Micah, we want Fujutsuki. Because Micah is meant to deal with a plethora of enemies. Actually, I do not recommend that you try to use Micah against a single boss. She does works as a supporter because she debuffs the enemy. She can use White Feather Ask on the main, but this is she's better against a multitude of enemies. So since we're going for crit, I'm going to use Atomic Buster and the skills. We're using Carping Bombing because it's just strong, Ruthless Explosion, and also Death from Above. So yeah, I'm just going to erase all the enemies. But the problem is gonna be Edwin. I don't know if I can beat Edwin with this. So the first thing that you want to do is Ruthless Explosion because that debuffs the enemy. Then you want to use Death from Above to deal a bunch of damage. And then Carpet Bombing. There. Yeah, Ruthless Explosion is really important here. But as usual, you can always use the Momochi weapon just to give you a little bit of consistency. There. And this one too. Come on, like that. Death from Above. Nice. Yeah, the damage is just absurd. Oh, but I already used the active. I'm going to use the ulti ASAP. Come on, ultimate. There. Yeah, she does want that. Oof! Only one enemy. Nice. I want to break that super armor. That's why I started with that. Nice. So that he gets interrupted. Death from Above. Nice. So yeah, the damage increase was super important. That's why I decided to go with Fujutsuki if I'm facing a strong boss like Edwin. Let's see. Like, you can really use this anywhere. Anywhere. Oboro is one of the best ones to use this strategy because she's really, really, really good on red. Depending on what you want to do, you may use this, the SR weapon, or this, the character renewal weapon. This one is going to give you HP recovery, and this one is going to give you more damage on critical. So, is she? She is red. She is red. So, since she is red, I'm going to use the Shizuru that I mentioned. But I'm not going to put her on the main because she doesn't need it. As easy as that. I want Suzune because of that HP recovery, because Oboro doesn't naturally has HP recovery. Yeah, that's another reason why this combo is so good. Because you get passive HP recovery on Kirara's regen, and also recovery with the active of Suzune. So characters that don't have natural HP recovery are able to manage. No problem. So yeah. Here we're gonna use Hypnosis Seal and Carnage, along with Wicked Slasher. Wicked Slasher and Hypnosis Seal are our main ways to deal the debuffs. And then Carnage just take advantage of the state the enemy's in, the mind control, to deal a huge amount of damage. Let me check the time. Oh my god. So, let's see. So that's the damage without the debuff. Only one enemy was debuffed. Okay. No. Like that, yes. Oh yeah, I have to do it in after I start the basic attack. I forgot about that part. So yeah, you see? Really, really good. Really, really easy. Here, I want to get close and... there. Nice. Perfect. Nice. Well, there. Yeah, the good thing is that I have a big window of opportunity when Edwin does an attack, thanks to the mind control. And that way I can destroy his super armor and just stun him. It really depends. You want to destroy the super armor, or ideally you will destroy the super armor when Edwin is about to finish the mind control state. Okay, almost done. There. Now Carnage. And here, unlike other characters, I'm gonna start with the ulti. I'm not going to use Suzune. I want to keep that HP recovery, and I am not going to be able... I mean, I could, but it's kind of difficult with Oboro. Inflict debuffs to everyone. The amount of enemies that can receive the debuff are limited. Wicked Slasher, it's kind of unlimited, but you have to be good at when you're using it. If the enemy doesn't pass through that area, then it's going to be troublesome. Nice. Wicked Slasher now. I'm going to use this to gain HP back, and come on, Ingrid. I just need this. Ingrid down. Oboro almost down. Oboro down. Oh, there. And come on, there. Oh, but it didn't affect him. Okay. Yeah, that happens every now and then. Oh, will you stop using those attack that chase me? I'm confusing me. Oh, come on. Okay. I'm going to use Suzune. I'm going to use this and... Nice. Now I can defeat Edwin. There. You see? Super, super easy. Well, yeah, just to finish, I'm gonna use a character that doesn't debuff that much. Like, it has one big debuff on red. Let me think who. And I'm going to use mixed builds with that character. Hebico? Let me check. I really don't remember which characters can give only one debuff with red. Increase damage. She naturally inflicts this debuff. Yeah, this is a really good option, Hebico. But you also want a character that doesn't... if you want to use the red skill, you want the character to have critical rate increase on red. Critical damage is not ideal. And if you want to go for that, then if you don't use this, then it's fine. Let's see. Increase damage. It's a buff, and this... I don't want to use Hebico, it's not a good idea. What about this one? About her. With the weapon, this inflicts a slow. Reduces the target's speed. HP recovery. Okay. This is looking good. So I need deflective wind. And instead of howling, I'm going to use this one to reduce the enemy's speed. And tornado. Let's use tornado. Well, I'm going to put this and I'm going to change it one more time. So I want tornado, deflective, and Kamitachi. So what are we doing here? We are going to use the same supporters, of course, but both are gonna be in the... No, yes, because I want to be green. I'm going to be using Suzune here, and I'm going to be using... Where? Kirara. I keep using Kirara, but you know what? I'm gonna use Lilim for those of you who do not have one or the other. So Suzune, Lilim, and it is also good because it gives me increase defense. And I'm going to be using Hebico. The important thing here is that you want to use Kamitachi, and then you want to attack. And with any attack, you're going to be able to inflict a debuff, a poison on the enemy, and they're going to be perma debuff from now on. I am using her on the main, not because she has a good effect, because I want Deflective Wind to give me HP recovery. So I used the... Did not inflict... wait a moment, Kamitachi is not the 3-color, right? Wait a moment, guys. Maybe I made a mistake. Yeah, because if it's a 3-color skill... Yeah, it's a 3-color skill. Oh. Reduce the target's defense. Okay, I'm gonna use this. I don't like it, but with the weapon, specifically this combination, reduces enemy speed uh, by 10% for 10 seconds. So how is this going to work? It's horrible. I have to use Stormfang and then I have to use Gale Slash. Because it's horrible because you want to use Stormfire after Gale Slash. 10 seconds, yeah, well, maybe it can happen. Yeah, it can happen, definitely. So, yes. It would be something like this. No, that is the counter. Yeah. And then we use this to inflict debuffs onto the enemy. Yeah, so it is a way, it is very slow. I mean, against this is gonna be hard, but it is consistent. I do have HP recovery, I do have everything that I need. So yeah, even though it is not fast, it works. So yeah, fortunately it works with the what's the name? With the counter, after the counter. After using Deflective Wind, I can use Gale Slash, which was my main concern about this combination. Yeah, because sometimes you cannot use the follow-up attacks after certain attacks. Okay, come on. Oh, will you? Did I? Okay, there. And now it's perma debuff, so I just need to continue attacking. Why do I say perma debuff? Because if I'm not mistaken, you can reactivate the effect time and again. So even though it has already passed like 12 seconds, 12.5 seconds, the poison is going down. So yeah, as long as you keep hitting, that debuff is gonna be there. Okay, thank you. Oh my. Take this. The good thing about this build is that I can charge my particles super fast, so that's no problem. There. Now, this is why I wanted Lilim. There, come on. Nice. Debuffs, debuffs, debuffs. And I'm going to use the active too, why not? So yeah, even though it's slower compared to other characters, it's very consistent thanks to the ability to heal. Unfortunately, you depend on the weapon on this specific build, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to be inflicting a debuff. But considering that works with the Momochi weapon too, that works with other characters. The Momochi weapon is very generic and allows you to use Suzune and Kirara. And if you want consistency, just throw Heavy Coin to the mix and that should work fine. Yeah, those perma buffs are really, really valuable. Yeah, and just to finish, I'm gonna try to use one character which likes to rely on one specific debuff. I think it's Sakura. Ooh, actually, I can go with the disarm one, but do I have crit? No. I'll just do this and I'll exchange the Magatamas. Do I have other Magatamas? No, I have to remove these ones. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. And I equip the rest of the Magatamas. 1, 2, 3. Why am I using Twinkle Riser? Because this is able to inflict unable to attack? Disarm! This is able to inflict disarm onto the enemy. And that's another debuff, and it's one of the strongest debuffs in the game, so yeah. For 5 seconds by an increased familiar damage. Yeah. And I can summon a familiar. So I'm going to be using Su, because that's another one that I mentioned that is really, really strong. And she is. So Su along with Kirara. And where is Suzune? So this, my build depends on one thing. Yeah, I do have HP recovery. So I'm going to be using what exactly? This give me damage increase, which is nice. This increases the shadow burst damage. Yeah, I'm gonna use this because it gives damage. I'm checking. I'll keep the basic enhancer. The basic enhancers are pretty good when using when using Little Witch Su. So yeah, how are we debuffing? We are debuffing with the weapon, basically. I was thinking about going with another strategy with Shadow Tangle, which I could, but I won't because I'm facing more difficult boss in the form of Edwin. If it was something that wasn't as chunky and didn't deal that much damage, I would use something different. So yeah, like that. And yeah, the problem is that you have to do a bunch of basics, and other than that you're not receiving. No, this is not a good strategy, guys. I mean, against one single enemy, against Mask Taimanin, this is very viable, but not here specifically. Let me check. Like, are there someone who deals an AoE debuff? It has to be an AoE debuff, not a single target debuff like this one. Who could it be? Oh, Tokiko. Yeah, even though she's no, she's not going to be able to. She's 75. I'll have to go down. Yeah, sorry guys, I cannot. She has to do this on 75. My Tokiko is not able to. I'm going to build her to only use one debuff. No, but like I am really trying hard to think who can inflict one singular debuff. Felicia, I don't like this kind of combo. Yeah, it is this one. So let's go with Red Felicia. Why I don't like it? Because it is not optimal to do so. So here I am going to use who? Witch Su again. And I'm going to be using Suzune and Kirara to increase my damage. Yeah, who was it? Sakura works, yes, but as I mentioned, against one enemy, and right now we don't have mass Taimanin so that I can show you. So here I don't want the damage increase, I do want defense, so I'm going to use Lilim instead. And we're using Vampiric Zone to inflict the Mark debuff. And we're using Vampiric Blood to keep that debuff up. And because she's going to multi-hit very, very quickly. Here is the thing. Since I'm using a mixed build, Orochinagi is not as busted as it should be. You can still use it, yes. Reduce the enemy's damage. Oh, wait, am I missing one of the... No, I already have the two of them. So you can change this for... You can change it for Blood Sight, actually, because that becomes a damaging skill when used on blue, with a main blue. So yes, I'm just going to take those Magatamas from Sakura very quickly. And I unequip her. And then I put them and we're done. Yeah, this will be the last one. Yeah, Sakura, maybe another day I will do the video on Sakura fighting against... well, I already have a video on Sakura using Disarm. So you should check that if you want to see how that works. And you can use these two on the sub slot when you're doing that. So, let's see. Like this on 75. Yeah, we don't have that much control over the enemy. In fact, this, due to the kind of attack that Felicia is using, she's gonna struggle while using Su. She wouldn't struggle against a single enemy, she struggles against multiple enemies. But if you go pure red, she won't struggle. I'm going to use Orochinagi instead, just cause Orochinagi can manage on this floor of the tower. Yeah, look, I just put the mark and use Orochinagi. Yeah, the ability to keep a debuff up is really, really good. That's why Su is so... Come on! There. That's why Su is so busted. Okay, well, I managed to beat that without the debuffs. And now I have to wait for the enemies to gather, and I avoid, and I use Orochinagi. You can also use the active of Little Witch Su just to have a debuff onto the enemy. It is not the best debuff, but it's a debuff, and that way you're going to be able to increase your damage. Yeah, that's the problem when using Felicia against multiple enemies. She doesn't have enough super armor. If you're facing one enemy, it's not gonna be any problem because you're able to just evade and that's it. But against 3 Taimanin, you see how I'm having trouble attacking. I mean, they don't deal enough damage to me. I don't have troubles in that department. The problem is that they keep interrupting me and I cannot progress if I don't hit them. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to use the ulti since Orchinagi is not dealing as much damage. Debuffed, yes, and now like that, yeah. So yeah, you can use this with whatever character and whatever combination. It is really, really generic. Generally, you want to be inflicting debuffs with other things, not only with the Suzune's active. So keep that in mind. Weapons like the Momochi weapons are gonna be super useful. Any weapon that inflict a debuff. Characters which inflict debuffs on red are also really good. And if you're fighting in Taima 5 VR, you can rely on your other characters to inflict the debuffs. And you can focus on dealing damage only with your main character and putting, I don't know, Gal Lilim, Suzune, and Holy Knight Kirara. For example, Shiranui doesn't inflict debuffs on red, so you either use Senku or Rondo to get HP recovery, and you use which one? You use Sogetsuin to deal damage. Unfortunately, it's not super great because this increases critical rate, which you can go critical on VR, but it's not recommended. You can use this one to deal damage. You can use Gauging. You can use the basic enhancer. So as you can see, she's not dealing any kind of debuff, but you can use this as long as your partners are dealing debuffs. Like, let's say Felicia. She's a healer and she's also going to be inflicting a debuff. Let's say Green Murasaki, which inflicts a slow onto the enemy. Or whatever you want, even Eleanor. So yeah, and that's about it for today. I hope you find this useful, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!